good morning, Entrepreneurship Avenue. Are you well? Yeah! Oh, well, that took you a second to figure out, but anyhow, that's quite good. So, I know it's a long day, I know it's early. I'm Daniel, the usually quite friendly host. I'd just like to introduce one simple rule, if that's okay. If someone comes on stage, you applaud as loud as you can. Can I hear that once? Yes, you've understood that part, that means enough, fair enough, we'll work on that. Anyhow, once you've introduced a person on stage, you applaud as loud as you can. If they leave, it's up to you. Like, if they were okay, you applaud okay-ish. If they were amazing, give them an amazing applaud. You know what the idea is. We've got a long and interesting day ahead, we've got a lot of pitches ahead, but before I start rambling too much, and I have a tendency to do so, I would like to say two things. Number one, this is the 5th year, so this has really become a tradition. Like when we started off 5 years ago, who knew this was going to become this big sometime? So that's cool. And secondly, I would like to get someone on stage who's a little more qualified than me to talk about this. You know the rule? Let's welcome the first person on stage for a short welcoming address. I'd say probably the man behind. Welcome on stage, Rudolf Demeter.
Thank you, Daniel. It's number 2. Can you hear me? Great. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Fine.
Good. Ambassador, Vice Rector, everybody. Let me tell you what today is all about. It's about hard work. Really hard work. Sounds strenuous? Yes, and it is. But don't worry, above all, it's about passion. Do what you love, and you'll be better at it, and you will get the fun out of it. The Entrepreneurship Avenue wants to help young people in finding out whether starting their own business is the thing that they love. It is a platform of opportunities. And since its first edition in 2014, more than 4,000 students from about 100 different universities have taken part in this Entrepreneurship Avenue journey. It's this special can-do attitude and the diverse backgrounds of the participants that makes this journey such a rewarding learning and working atmosphere for everyone involved. And implementing such a program requires an outstanding team. So in place of the whole student organizing team from SIMC and ECN, I'd like to express my gratitude to this year's head organizers, Barbara, Berna, Christoph, and Elizabeth. Please come on stage. That's your applause. I know that you have worked really hard, and I know that you love what you do. So everybody, have a great day. Enjoy the show. The floor is yours.
Thank you.
Hi everyone.
Can you hear me? Yeah?
In case you didn't quite understand, this is the 5th anniversary of the Entrepreneurship Avenue. And this is where you're supposed to clap. Okay, let's try it one more time, because this is the 5th anniversary of the Entrepreneurship Avenue. Yes! Exactly. So the idea of the Entrepreneurship Avenue came up in 2013, where a couple of VU students from the SIMC Master, so this university right now, wanted to bring together the students from all universities and not only the usual suspects. in order to foster an interdisciplinary startup scene. So what they did, they had the first Entrepreneurship Avenue conference, and they had about 300 participants, which seems a little bit like an experiment. But let me tell you something. This doubled every single year. So today, we're awaiting 1,500 participants to the Entrepreneurship Avenue Conference 2018. And this is the proof that the Entrepreneurship Avenue is no longer an experiment. It is an important event for the Austrian startup ecosystem.
But the Avenue is a little bit different than any other kind of entrepreneurship event. So every year, a completely new organizer team takes over. And again, in this October, the past October, the former organizing team handed over the Avenue to us and our team, so to a completely new group of students. In the beginning, taking on this responsibility almost seems a little bit scary, because none of us had ever done something on this scale before. Nevertheless, with the effort of 35 bachelor and master students, they overcome this challenge by having the common goal of creating and inspiring a new 2018 for all of you guys.
Today's conference is a highlight of a whole series of events. In April, we kicked off our 5th Entrepreneurship Avenue Lab Series, bringing together interdisciplinary student teams to take the first step on their entrepreneurial path. More than 500 attendees visited the workshop series, 50 teams were formed, 35 mentors and 7 pitch trainers guided the teams, 25 startups pitched on the demo day, and finally today, 10 teams were chosen to pitch on the Avenue Pitch Award.
So, after this amazing journey, we're here today at our final conference, and we're super excited to have all of you guys with us. Let me give you a very quick glimpse of what awaits you today. We're hosting 17 speakers from Silicon Valley, all over Europe, and local heroes, talking about entrepreneurship, innovation, and technology. At our startup fair, you can get your hands on the latest tech trends, and you can also get a glimpse of famous Puls 4 show, 2 Minutes to Million, right here on stage in the afternoon. All of this would not have been possible with the support of our diamond partners, A1, Erste Bank, BDO, Immobilien Scout 24, and AWS, as well as our gold and silver partners. You can visit them outside at our partners fair and look at their booths, and you can also benefit from their insights into innovation at the workshops. We have waited for this day for almost a year, and we are sure that you guys will enjoy it as much as we already do. Now I hand over the word to our honorary guests. First up, WU Vice Rector Dr. Harald Badinger, and then US Ambassador to Austria, Trevor Trainer. Thank you very much, guys. Enjoy.
Thank you so much. Oh, I always love the energy here. It's fantastic. And you've just heard it. Let's announce them on stage, the Vice Rector of the WU, Dr. Harald Badinger. Welcome on stage. Thank you. Hello.
Good morning together. As already mentioned, my name is Harald Badinger. I'm Vice Rector for Financial Affairs, and on behalf of the Rectors Council, I would like to welcome you to this year's Entrepreneurship Avenue at WU. After many, many events taking place at WU, meanwhile by far more than 1,000 per year, the Entrepreneurship Avenue is clearly an absolute highlight. And even better, as already mentioned, it's a recurring highlight taking place already the 5th time at WU. Since its inception in 2014, it has quickly developed into the largest entrepreneurship event in Europe with more than 1,000 participants from more than 50 universities. As one of 15 programs worldwide and only European program, it received last year's AACSB award as a best practice entrepreneurship education program, a very nice indication of its international recognition and the reputation it has already built up. Another unique feature, as already mentioned, which I find is very nice, is that it is mainly organized by students and for students. And as such, it gets a very authentic touch. You definitely need entrepreneurial spirit to set up and successfully organize an event like this. And I find the whole setup, the program, the list of speakers, the professionalism of the organization very impressive, and I think it's not premature to say congratulations to the organizing team. Needless to say, in front of this audience, that entrepreneurship, innovation, startups are important themes for a business university such as WU, both as a center of research and as a platform of knowledge transfer. WU is proud that it seriously addresses both elements. Since 2001, there is an Institute for Entrepreneurship and Innovation led by Nick Franke, which has been generating outstanding research on this topic since then. And as far as knowledge transfer is concerned, since 2015, there exists a WU Entrepreneurship Center led by Rudolf Dömeter, acting as a trigger and magnifier of entrepreneurial activities among WU students, alumni, and faculty. I think this combination of academic research with knowledge transfer, application, implementation is of crucial importance for the credibility of any education program in the field of business, probably nowhere more than in the subfield of entrepreneurship. In this sense, today's conference is in fact a best practice example that can serve as a role model for other fields. It's great having you all here today. I wish you an exciting conference and inspiring presentations and discussions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we have one more short welcome note, and I'm quite happy that he's here because his predecessor, Alexa Wesner, left quite a footprint of entrepreneurship and empowerment here in Austria. So we're very happy to have the new US ambassador here. And the interesting thing is, he's a serial entrepreneur, so he really knows what he's on about. He's here, we're happy to have him here. Ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, please welcome the US ambassador, Mr. Trevor Traynor. Welcome on stage, Trevor. Hello, ambassador. Hello. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and I want to thank the organizers very much for having me here. I really appreciate it. It's kind of a funny thing to say. I am the United States ambassador to the Republic of Austria, and I am brand new at this because probably 2 months ago, I was the CEO of a tech company, and I am from San Francisco, the heart of the digital revolution, the heart of Silicon Valley, and my identity has always been as a serial technology entrepreneur. So the ambassador thing is kind of new to me, and I won't lie to you, just between us, it's kind of awesome being the ambassador. But I still have to remind myself. In fact, I did a whole month of training in Washington, D.C. to prepare to be the ambassador. And there was some sort of official walking me to my meetings. And we walk into one meeting, and they're expecting the ambassador. And they all come out, and they turn to the guy with me, and they say, "Oh, Mr. Ambassador, how nice of you to come." And he said, "I'm not the ambassador. Mr. Traynor is the ambassador." And I said to them, "Do I not look like a US ambassador to you?" And he said, "No, you don't look like an ambassador." I won't tell you what I thought, but I will tell you what I said, which was, "Well, I guess one of us is diplomatic." So this is my introduction to the world of diplomacy, and I didn't prepare a speech for you. It's not because I forgot I was coming this morning. I did remember that, but I find, having been a student not that long ago, that the prepared speeches are all about innovation is good, and entrepreneurialism is wonderful, and we all know these things. If you are here, it's because you already know and understand that, and you don't need to hear that from me. But what I will do is I'll share with you a little bit of my story, and I'll share with you some of the things that I have learned. And I am a serial entrepreneur. I am also a tech investor. So I was an early investor in Uber, in Dropbox, in Nextdoor, a lot of other companies that either you've heard of or hopefully that you will hear of. So I've seen both sides of the picture. But I was a student. I was at the time at Berkeley, and I knew I wanted to start a company. And other than that, I had no idea how to do it. And in fact, could I just see a show of hands? How many of you out there hope or intend to start a company? Let's see. And how many of you have already started a company? How many of you are excited about starting a company? And last question, since we're being honest, I already told you my thoughts about being the ambassador, but how many of you are scared about doing this? I've started 5 companies, and I want to tell you, every day of every company, I was scared. It is terrifying. You have other people's money, you are responsible for other people's jobs, and it's okay. It's okay to be scared, and it's part of what motivates you. And the main thing about being an entrepreneur is, I always say, it's sort of like being naked to the world. In fact, I was just at your Life Ball, where I see there were many entrepreneurs. But you are not insulated from the highs or the lows. So if you're having a great day, it feels like the greatest day of your life. And if you are having a bad day, it just feels so bad you can't describe it. And that is the ride that you're signing up for, and you have to be ready for that. As I said, I was a student at Berkeley. I had roommates. We were fighting over the phone in our flat, and I thought, there's got to be a better phone for us to buy that's not too expensive, that has all the features we need. And I went to a store, and I asked the salesperson for this product, and he had no idea. And I thought, if this is the expert, and he can't tell me what I need or want, this is crazy. And so I thought, well, what if I create a company online that has every product with all the price and features and everything, and you could compare them and know exactly what you wanted to buy? Wouldn't this be great? And so that's all I had, was an idea. I had probably very few qualifications, but what I had was motivation. And so I just started. First, when I was in school, I convinced my teachers, it was business school, to change their classes for me so I could learn what I needed. In fact, I was the only person at Berkeley who never once went to the Career Center, because I said, I don't want to go to the Career Center. I don't want to work for anyone else. I want to work for myself. I'm not going to waste my time. But to my marketing professor, I said, could I do my marketing plan in your class and get credit? To my accounting professor, I said, how can I learn the accounting I need to have a company? And so I started to make my own way. And before I even graduated, I pulled together a little bit of money from my family and some friends. And I had a partner who had just graduated from law school. He was my best friend. And I said, number one, if I'm going to do this, I might as well, and I'm going to spend all my time doing it, I might as well do it with someone I really like and enjoy. And number two, I was like, who would want to be a lawyer for their whole life? That's a different comment. But anyway, he thanks me today. And so we started off, and by the time I graduated from Berkeley, I was the CEO of my own company. It was not a very big company, didn't have any employees, but who's counting? And so I convinced my father to give me a room in his house. I have younger brothers and sisters, so during the day when they were gone, I had my team come in, we worked there, and then at 5 o'clock we put our Apple computers under the bunk beds of my brothers and sisters, and we went away. I didn't go away, I worked till 11 every night, but, and then one day my father said to me, do you think maybe you could get your own office now? At the time we had 11 employees in his house. I said, do I need to? And he said, yes, you need to. So I said, okay. So I raised a little bit more money. We found a very cheap office in San Francisco. And again, I didn't know what I was doing. I just figured it out as I went along. And at one moment, we had run through all of our money. The product looked beautiful. It was useful. It wasn't generating any revenue. And every entrepreneur has this moment. And I remember that I left the office for the day, and I got in my car, because in California everyone drives, even if it's 1 block. So I got in my car and sat in the parking lot, and I thought, I cannot imagine ever feeling this bad again. It was like the low point of my life. I thought, I'm going to lose the money of my grandmother, my mother, my friends, my employees are going to lose their jobs. Every entrepreneur has this moment. And this is the defining moment, because success isn't about like having the greatest idea at the perfect time and all of that. Sure, that will amplify your success. But the #1 ingredient